Hello and welcome to Calmwise Journey. Here we explore peace, wisdom, and calm moments.
There is a quiet transformation that happens in life, one that almost no one warns you about, and it usually begins somewhere between the ages of 58 and 68. It doesn't rive with noise. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't interrupt your routine. Instead, it slips in gently during ordinary moments, while you're sitting alone with your thoughts, while you're watching the light change at the end of the afternoon, while you're doing something simple, something you've done 1,000 times before, and suddenly, you realize something feels different, not outside of you, but inside. If you are watching this right now, and you are between 55 and 75 years old, this moment is not random. Something in you recognized this message before your mind did. You didn't come here to be entertained. You came here because something within you is ready to slow down and listen. By this age, you have already lived through chapters that would overwhelm someone half your age. You have carried responsibility long before you felt ready. You have held families together. You have endured uncertainty quietly. You learned how to survive before anyone taught you how to rest. And now, after decades of movement, effort, and endurance, life begins to whisper instead of shout. This is the age where peace stops being something you chase and starts becoming something you protect. Earlier in life, peace felt like a reward, something you earned after long hours, after sacrifice, after proving yourself. But somewhere around 60, a realization emerges, subtle but irreversible. You begin to understand that most of your exhaustion did not come from doing too much. It came from resisting who you were becoming. For years, you adapted, you adjusted, you bent yourself to fit expectations, both spoken and unspoken. And now, your inner world asks for honesty. Your body remembers everything your mind tried to ignore, every rushed decision, every night you stayed strong instead of resting, every time you chose responsibility over your own needs. This is why this stage of life feels emotionally heavier, yet strangely clearer. You begin to notice that you no longer react the way you used to. Arguments lose their appeal. Drama feels unnecessary. Noise feels intrusive. This is not indifference. This is discernment. You start choosing silence, not because you have nothing to say, but because your energy has become valuable. Somewhere between 60 and 65, your relationship with time changes forever. Time no longer feels infinite, and instead of fear, it brings precision. You become selective. Selective with conversations, selective with commitments, selective with people, not out of bitterness, but out of self-respect. You realize that peace is not found in adding more to your life. It is found in removing what no longer belongs. You may notice that your mornings feel different now. You move slower, not because you're weak, but because you are present. You notice small things you once rushed past. The warmth of sunlight through a window. The quiet comfort of familiar routines. The sound of music that once defined entire seasons of your life. Music holds more meaning now. Memories serve us without effort. Not to cause regret, but to remind you of resilience. You remember versions of yourself who survived without guidance, who made decisions with limited information, who kept going even when the future felt uncertain. These memories are not mistakes. They are evidence that you endured, evidence that you adapted, evidence that you lived fully, even when it was difficult at this age. Solitude begins to change its meaning. Being alone no longer feels like absence. It feels like refuge. Silence becomes restorative. Stillness becomes nourishing. You are no longer afraid of your own thoughts. You no longer need constant distraction. You understand something younger people haven't learned yet. Peace is not boredom. Peace is regulation. Between the ages of 62 and 68, success rewrites its definition. Success is not recognition. It is relief. Relief from anxiety. Relief from urgency. Relief from performing for others. Success becomes waking up without a knot in your chest. Eating slowly. Ending the day without unresolved tension. And perhaps the most radical realization of all, your worth is no longer tied to productivity. You are valuable because you are here, not because you're useful. This can feel unsettling at first, because when roles fall away, you are finally left with yourself. But if you allow it, this becomes freedom. You stop trying to be understood by everyone. You stop explaining your choices. You stop shrinking your truth. You begin to live from alignment, instead of approval. And if this resonates with you deeply, it means you are standing at the edge of a powerful transition. In the next part, we will explore what happens emotionally after 65, why certain relationships naturally fade, why guilt begins to loosen its grip, and why this chapter of life holds a level of freedom that most people never reach. Stay here. This is only the beginning. Somewhere after 65, something subtle but powerful begins to shift inside you. It's not dramatic. It doesn't announce itself. But once it starts, it changes how you see everything. This is the age where emotional weight begins to lift. Not because life becomes easier, but because you stop carrying what was never yours to begin with. For many people, this stage of life arrives quietly. During moments of reflection, you may notice it while looking at old photographs, phases frozen in time, places that no longer exist the way they once did, moments that feel both close and impossibly distant, and instead of sadness, you feel something unexpected, acceptance. You begin to understand that every version of yourself did the best it could with what it knew at the time. There is a deep peace that comes from no longer arguing with the past. Between 65 and 70, guilt slowly loses its authority. Not because you forget, but because you forgive yourself first. You realize that regret has a limit, that replaying old choices doesn't change them. You understand that wisdom does not come from punishment, but from integration. You stop asking, "What if?" and you start asking, "What did this teach me?" This is where emotional maturity becomes visible. You no longer need to win conversations, longer need to prove your point or correct everyone. You understand something that only experience can teach. Peace is not found in being right. Peace is found in being aligned. Relationships begin to reorganize themselves naturally at this stage. Some people drift away, not because of conflict, but because the connection no longer fits who you become. This can feel strange at first. You may wonder if you're becoming distant, if you're isolating yourself, if something is wrong. But the truth is simpler. You are becoming selective with your emotional space. You no longer tolerate shallow connections that drain you. You no longer invest in dynamics built on obligation instead of respect. This isn't loneliness. This is discernment. Between 68 and 72, you may notice that nostalgia becomes stronger, but also gentler. Memories return more vividly now. The sound of a song from decades ago can instantly transport you. The smell of something familiar can open entire emotional landscapes. You remember who you were before life became complicated. Before urgency, before pressure, before expectations. These memories are not meant to pull you backward. They are reminders of continuity. You are still the same person, only deeper, and now time feels different. Not rushed, not wasted, sacred. You begin to treat your energy as finite and valuable. You rest without guilt. You pause without justification. You say no without explanation. This is where inner authority replaces external validation. You trust yourself more. Your intuition sharpens. Your tolerance for chaos diminishes. Your need for a simplicity grows, and something profound happens emotionally. You stop fearing. Silence. Your nervous system begins to relax in ways it hasn't for years. You are no longer driven by urgency. You are guided by presence. This is also the stage where gratitude deepens, not the loud, performative kind, but the quiet awareness of small miracles. A peaceful morning, a conversation without tension, a body that still carries you through the day. You understand that joy does not need to be intense to be real. Sometimes, joy is simply the absence of pain. You also begin to release the idea that life must be extraordinary to be meaningful. Meaning is found in continuity, in routine, in still being here. You stop comparing your life to others. Comparison loses relevance when you realize that everyone is walking a completely different timeline. Your path has been complex, layered, and now something within you feels more stable than ever before, not rigid, but grounded. You are no longer chasing the future. You are inhabiting the present. And if this stage of life feels quieter than earlier chapters, it's because the noise has finally fallen away. What remains is truth in the next part. We will explore the final transformation that occurs after 70, why fear softens, why peace becomes embodied, and why this chapter holds a depth of wisdom that few people ever fully reach. Stay with me. What comes next may surprise you. Thank you for watching. After 70, life no longer feels like a race. It feels like a conversation, a quiet, honest conversation between who you were and who you have become. At this stage, fear changes its shape. It doesn't disappear, but it softens. You are no longer afraid of endings the way you once were. You understand that. Endings are not failures, they are completions. You begin to see your life as a lomak, not just a collection of mistakes. Every chapter, even the painful ones, now has context, and with context comes a profound sense of peace. Between 70 and 75, something remarkable happens emotionally. You stop trying to control every outcome. You stop forcing meaning onto every event. You learn to trust life more, not because it's predictable, but because you have survived its unpredictability time and time again. You have learned that not everything needs to be fixed. Some things just need to be witnessed. Your relationship with uncertainty becomes gentler. You don't rush to find all the answers. You allow the questions to simply exist. And in that quiet space, wisdom emerges naturally. Without any effort, you find yourself speaking less. But when you do, people listen, not because you demand their attention, but because your words are anchored in decades of lived experience. You carry a calm authority that cannot be imitated or faked. This is the age where your very presence becomes your message. People may not remember everything you say, but they will always remember how safe they felt around you, how unhurried you are, how grounded you seem to be in a world that's always rushing. You are no longer trying to impress anyone. And ironically, that is what makes you so deeply impactful. Nostalgia becomes softer now. Memories visit you like old friends, not to haunt you, but just to sit beside you for a while. You can smile at the life you lived, at the risks you took, at the love you gave so freely, even when it ended in hurt. You can appreciate the strength you showed when no one was watching. You no longer measure your life by its milestones or achievements. Instead, you measure it by moments of truth. Those moments when you chose integrity over convenience. Moments when you chose kindness when it was hard. Moments when you chose to keep going. One step at a time, solitude becomes sacred. It's no longer empty, but full in solitude. You feel connected to something much larger than yourself. It's not ambition you feel, nor urgency. It's a sense of continuity. You come to understand that life did not just happen to you. It happened through you. Your body may move slower now, but your awareness moves deeper. You listen more intently. You observe more closely. You judge far less. You have learned the great secret that peace is not the absence of struggle. It is the absence of resistance. You no longer fight against aging. You inhabit it. You allow each day to unfold without demanding that it be different. And in doing so, you discover something truly extraordinary. You are finally completely home within yourself. If you are watching this and something inside you feels seen, if these words feel familiar, like they've always existed inside you, that is not a coincidence. It means you have reached a stage of life where wisdom no longer needs to be chased. It simply needs to be honored. Your story matters, not because it was perfect, but because it was real. And there are others out there who need to hear this. People who feel invisible. People who feel overlooked. People who are quietly searching for the reassurance that they are not alone in this phase of life. If this message resonated with you, please take a moment to support this space. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share a comment. Not for us, but for someone else who may find comfort and connection in your words. Your experience has immense value. Your presence has meaning, and your journey is far from over. Thank you for being here. May the days ahead bring you calm mornings, gentle reflections, and a deep, steady peace that stays with you long after this video ends.